Okay, hello everyone. Today is Wednesday, and today we are going to learn about Connect. So, if you've been with Prove It for a while, or if you are just getting started, a big thing we like to talk about here is attract, connect, enroll, right? So, we're going to walk through the basics of that this week. And then going forward in our 90-day run, we're going to get into some details on those, how to do those, and some ways to really bring those into your business to make you successful. So, my name is Kelly Couch, for those of you that don't know me. I'm an independent promoter with the awesome company Prove It. And today, let's see some big smiles. We're about to learn, right? I know you have so much going on around us. Give yourself the gift of being present. The things that you're going to learn on these calls may change your business or someone else's that you're going to teach along the way. And so what's a great way to do that? I have found, not just with my business, but I've found that in every area of my life, a great way to be present is to be grateful. The more grateful you are, the more present you become, right? And so if you have all of these things going on around you and you're trying to be present, but your mind is all over the place, if you go straight to a place of gratitude, then you're here because you're thankful for the moment that you're in and you can really appreciate what's going on. So thank you for flexing your AQ on the time today. I know we switched it to 1 and then we switched it back to 12. So we appreciate you guys always being available and open to that stuff. So if you are just starting today on our 90-day Rhino Run, welcome. Hop right in. If you want to watch those recordings from the past couple days, I encourage you to do that. If not, you haven't, you're still at the beginning. We're on day 4 of 90, going to Hacking Better. I keep saying epic. I'm not going to say it today. Hacking Better is going to be awesome in October. I'm glad that we hit this 90-day run right leading into that, because if you do all these action steps leading into that, I promise that event will be life-changing either way. But if you're leading into it with these 90 days, it's going to be a life-changing event even more. If you've been around for a while and you're like, I know this stuff, like she is just going to repeat what they've been repeating, it's because it's important, you guys. And what you need to think to yourself is you might know the information, but there's a difference between knowing the information and competently being able to teach someone else the information, right? You can know it and you can know how to do it yourself, but unless you can turn then and teach it to people coming in, then we want to keep watching it and keep that repetition. Even I want to go back and watch all of these and all of the old trainings, because the other thing too is that between the times you hear information, same thing with when you read books or listen to audiobooks, you grow in between those times. And so you might hear a recording or you might hear a training, and then in between you're like, oh, I know what she's going to teach about, but you've grown in that period. So the way you hear it and the way you take it in and the way you apply it to your business is very different every single time. So first off, I want to say, raise your hand if you guys did this call to action yesterday. If you found 5 new people on your A list, and if you didn't, it's okay. You can do it today, but raise your hand. Look, I see a hand. Stacy, good job. I'm going to give you a thumbs up on that one, because these things matter, right? These call to actions, this training, and how much you know it is going to grow exponentially if you're then applying it to your business, applying anything, even when you're listening to books. If you're applying what you're learning, it's going to grow so much faster and so much better, and it's going to get in your brain so much better. We all need this repetition, right? So today, connection. The first and most important thing, your goal with connecting, we're going to dive right in. I have your permission to dive right in, right? We did that. My energy, I can feel my heart racing right now. So we're just going to dig in and do it. Okay, so the first most important thing with connecting is to realize that you are the messenger, not the message. If I could repeat that 47 million times, this would be a successful Zoom, because I had to learn this myself. I think, I don't know, I think my personality type has changed a million times over this course of growth. But when I first came into Prove It, I was a green. And so I was like, all the info. I wanted to research. I wanted to learn. And the more I learned, I wanted to spew that onto people. I was like, they need to know how amazing this is and every single detail. And what happened was that they didn't want to know that. First of all, had they not tried ketones, they didn't necessarily need to know that information. What they needed to know is that I could find the answer. And it was the same when I was an attorney. I thought I had to know everything about every area. And what I needed to get comfortable saying is, I don't know the answer to that, but I can find it for you. Or with this, I feel amazing, and I'm going to find the answer to your questions, but you should try it in the meantime, right? We want to be the messenger and not the message. So the whole goal for this 90-day run into Hacking Better is to show you that because of what we have, because we have this grade A plus product and this amazing community, it's the best, right? Those two things, we have the best of those. We get to keep it so super simple, you guys. And you know, I don't know if you guys have ever watched like those old Viking shows, or you know, where the kings, it's like these old shows where these two kings are showing, like, they're sending this messenger back and forth. Well, you go tell this king this and that, the other, right? And so what's the rule, right? They're the messenger. That person's a messenger. And the known rule in these movies, don't kill the messenger, right? So if you are trying to tell people all of this stuff and you're trying to be the expert, and you're like me, this was me, right? I was an attorney, not a doctor. And so here I am talking about insulin and XYZ, and people are like, what is she even talking about? They wanted to crucify me because they're like, she doesn't even know what she's talking about. She's an attorney, and here she is trying to talk all this stuff. But if I connect them, if I take myself out of it, I feel amazing. Do I have your permission to send you some videos that can talk to you more about this? I've now taken myself out of the picture as Kelly, the not doctor, and I'm like, hey, let me send you this stuff that will show you why I feel so great. I don't really know why I feel great, but I can these people do, right? They're the researchers, they're the doctors. Let me take myself out of it. Then it's like, they're not trying to attack me. All I am is somebody that feels amazing from this drink. They can try to attack these guys, but they have the credibility, right? So let's let them do the work for us. And I think that's the same thing here. All of this keto information, it's like the more you learn and go down this rabbit hole, it can get overwhelming, right? There's always so much more to learn. Even the doctors and scientists and formulators are always saying there's so much more to learn. And so the good thing is that you don't have to know anything to be the messenger. You can spread the word about ketones without learning all of that information. And it took me a long time to realize that. So learn from my mistakes here. So what is the amazing thing about the growth of ourselves and the growth of this company is that Prove It, back when we first started, did not have all of these connect tools. We had one, the doctor's calls. And because, I mean, I guess I fell into it kind of backwards because I wanted to nerd out on all this information. I got on the doctor's calls every single Wednesday, and I didn't know any of the answers. So like if on Tuesday, Johnny Joe asked me if this was good for migraines, I'm like, well, heck if I know. So I would get on Wednesday and I'd say, hey, Dr. Heather, is this good for migraines? And she would answer, and I would send the video because I knew that if I tried to answer it, they wouldn't believe me anyhow. They didn't even know what the product was, let alone what I was talking about. So I would send the video. Here, Dr. Heather talks about it at minute 10. Now, you guys, we have Inspire On videos. We have doctor's calls. We have the Prove It TV app. We have the Keto 101 YouTube. There's so many connect tools that we can send people. And I think that we forget about those a lot when we're trying to just get someone as excited as we are. We're like, we think we can do this. We've got it now. We've got the info. Like, let's tell it all to them. But let's not. Let's make it so simple. So the baseline of your connect tools is going to be, like I said, the specialist, the doctor's calls, Inspire On, Prove It TV, and other people, right? Don't forget you have this great community of people that you can connect also. But the very basic one that I want to talk about today is your campfire video. And so I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but I think when we rewind and take a step back, that campfire video is our lifeline, right? Like it, at the very basic base of this, they need to see the campfire video. Like if they haven't even seen the campfire video and then you go on talking about glucose and insulin resistance, they're like, we don't even know what her product is. And now she's trying to talk about energy into cells and mitochondria. Like where are we even doing here? But if they've seen the campfire, like, right? I think the importance of these connect tools is because the more you become the message stops with you. Like, think about what I'm saying there. The more you try to spew all this information, it stops there. And what do we want to be doing? We want to be making our businesses duplicatable so that if I share with Jess Jess shares with Tony, Tony shares with who, you know, you want that line to continue. But the more I am talking to Jess, and Jess is like, man, this girl knows so much, because I do, right? No, but then she is like, I could never share this. I could never answer these questions in the way that Kelly is answering them. The more I take myself out of it and use these connect tools, the message doesn't stop with me, because then Jess can say, oh, Kelly didn't even know that answer. And even if I did, I'm like, I don't know, but here's a video. Then she can say, oh, I didn't know the answer, but there's videos about this. I know there's videos because Kelly sent them to me. Then she can pass it on and do the same thing down the line, right? If that person wants to share and you have become the message, they feel disempowered. And that is the opposite of what we want in our businesses, right? We want to empower people to share this message. So they could never maybe know what you know, but they can use connect tools, right? Our experience, please learn from us, you guys. We try to do this, you know, briefly. I will share what happened in our business and why we're really trying to get back to the basics now. Nick and I, unbeknownst to ourselves, just showed it. I mean, we only did what we knew how to do. And so we started showing up in people's houses and giving these speeches and going. And what we ended up doing was making it so that we disempowered people. We made people feel as if they didn't know enough to get up and stand in front of a room of people. And that's why we're bringing it back to these simple KLPs where you just share, you sample, have some music, you connect with people on a normal level, and then when they leave, you send them connect tools, right? So we're getting back to the basics because we don't want to be the message. This is so important. It will slow the multiplication of your business if you are not taking yourself out of it, I promise. So the most foundational connect tool, the campfire video, if you have watched this more than 5 times, you may start to think that it is the most remedial thing ever. Like you watch it, like maybe you haven't seen it in a while and you've been sending it out, and then you watch it once and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been sending this like little dumb cartoon to like pretty important people. Like, I wonder if they're like, why does she think I'm 7? You know, but you watch it, but to think, but doctors, like if you talk to like people who know about ketosis, they watch the video, and that might be the person that you're kind of like in your head about not sending it to you. Those are the people that want a simple way to explain this. They're like, man, why didn't I ever think of like explaining it? This dumbed down, for lack of a better word. Like people want it, they want to understand it and they want to know what it is. And that's a great way to send it. So if we think about it, the most searched topics for healthy living and keto are energy, fat loss, and focus. Like I think we get in our own heads when we start to learn all of this information, and we're like, people don't want to know about energy. They want to know about XYZ medical condition and health condition, and that's what I need to be talking about. So why would they want the campfire? But it's not. It's the 5 things that we're actually allowed to talk about, the 5 things that are in that video. That's what people want to know, and that's what they're searching. So we want to keep it super simple, like that video. Like if you feel like you're talking about more than what's in that video, then you need to be switching to a connect tool, a different connect tool, like connect, right? Simplicity is key for you and your duplicatability. I cannot say that enough. We messed that up in the beginning big time. And so if you want this to grow quickly, keep it super simple. So a campfire video is foundational. It's a foundational understanding of our technology. Like that's what we need to be reminding ourselves of. Anytime we meet and talk to people, they need to have seen this video first before you continue. So if they're asking questions and they're talking to you and they have not seen the video, I would pump the brakes and say, hey, if I shoot you a short 4-minute video, will you watch it? And then we can start talking a little bit more. And I think that then we'll both kind of be on the same page here. People are not going to say no, especially if they're asking questions. And what happens as you go and learn is that you need to stay aware and check ourselves, because it's easy to become the messenger. And so I think if we're always having that point of awareness where we say, am I going a little too far? And it takes self-control. It takes you saying, I don't need to keep going. What they need to do is watch the video, and I need to let them talk and ask the questions that they have. So raise your hand if you have ever been talking to someone and you're thinking, with my knowledge and my expertise, this person will buy ketones. Like I know so much, I can do that. Like they know, there's no way they cannot buy ketones. Like I know so much, right? what are you doing? The problem is it stops with them. Like I said, you're becoming the message. Like, it's not an ego thing. It's like, yeah, heck yeah, I can sell them on ketones, but you're sabotaging yourself, I promise. And the solution is to connect. We want them to drink ketones. We want them to share. We want them to have the same tools we do and not have to rely on you. It feels good for people to need you. I get it. But if people need you all the time, you cannot grow your business at the level that you want to be growing. So for those of you who think that you've mastered this, and I have not, I am humble enough to say I have not mastered this, because we had a couple years of like going, and then this self-awareness moment, and then it was like, oh wow, we have really screwed this part of it up. And so mastery is really focused, purposeful practice with intention on your outcome. Focused, purposeful practice with intention on your outcome for how long? 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours. Do you guys know how long that is? Like, most of us have never committed to this in any area of our lives. We want instant gratification. If it's not happening and we think we put in the time, then we switch to this, bounce around. Whereas if we would lean in and really practice with intent on that outcome of what we want, and making those little shifts along the way, like this isn't working, here's where I need to step back for 10,000 hours. Do you know how good you would be at connecting people with a campfire video if you practiced it for 10,000 hours? Pretty dang good, you guys. And then you'd be ready for your next level of what you need and that growth in your business. So I think it takes consistency and grit to take these things and focus specific action, right? Because you think, I've got that down, I'm going to move on, but you're not ready. You haven't mastered it. You haven't mastered your level to be able to get to that next level, right? So what I want everyone to remember on this call, and I'm going to wrap it up here. I got to speed through my notes here, but that you have to remember too, that you have a coach. If you are on here, you're in my network, but you know, you can find Levels Up, you can find me, but you have a coach. And I think that your first experiences with connecting, and they will and they should be, is seeing other people, get around other people, get around your coach, get in three-way messages so you can see what yesterday's attract looks like, so you can see what connecting looks like. Don't feel like you have to do it on your own. You can see other people do it, and then you're like, oh, I can do that, right? And if you don't feel like you know how to do it, or you don't feel like you've been around enough, be a squeaky wheel. Reach up, reach up, reach up. The only way that people know you want coaching or need coaching is if you keep asking. So I think an easy way to get people's buy-in, I think a lot of times we prejudge, we're nervous to send, like, especially in the beginning, you're like, if I send you a short 4-minute video, it feels salesy. But having their buy-in is huge, you guys, on these connect tools. So I always ask the question first, if I send you a short 4-minute video, will you watch it? Let me know if it makes sense. It's so perfect. They say yes, and then you don't feel awkward or spammy sending it because you've asked them, like, hey, I don't know the answer to that, but if I find a video that talks about it from our doctors, will you watch it? And then we can talk about it better, both of us having a better understanding. Yes, they will, right? So I think having their buy-in on any of that makes it so much better. And that's where I think we should remember, like Nick talked about yesterday, you're always in a filter, right? And so we want to stay there. When we've asked them about a connect tool, you want to stay there. And I think that's where we become the messenger. We get nervous. So we send, like, if I send you a short 4-minute video, will you watch it and let me know if it makes sense? And they don't answer. And then you're like, oh no, I said something wrong. Oh no, now what do I send? And you're like, throw up in that message. And you're like, what did I just do? I know Kelly said to keep it simple, but I got nervous and now I've screwed up the whole thing. Stay there, have confidence, because it's that ping pong, it's that filter. You want their buy-in. Campfire, filter. Did they watch it? Did they get back to you? If they didn't, you can follow up, but you're always filtering out now, later, never. If they watch and continue the conversation, more questions, more connect tools, right? It's that ping pong game. You're never failing. You're always filtering, right? Don't think of it as failing if you get no response. You're filtering. It's a constant filter system. Only commit to the people who are going to show commitment to you, right? That's that red light, green light, yellow light. We will talk about that in a later training, but stick with those green lights who are committing to you, and you're going to find that you have a lot more not success, but a lot more interaction with the people that you're talking to. So other connect tools, these videos, I wanted to say, like, even these videos can be a connect tool. We think of all these other ways to connect, but if you have promoters that have maybe they engaged in the beginning and they're not engaging now, or they're not all in on their commitment. This is a new way. Same information, new face. That's what you're looking for on Connect Tools, so that you don't have to be the messenger. You want the exact information you would tell them, but another face telling them. So if there's new promoters, you can say, hey, why don't you watch this video? Remember a long time ago we talked about ways to attract? Boom. It's another way to open up conversation. Okay, so your call to action for today, because I know we're at the 20-minute mark and we want to keep it to that. I want you to redo what you did yesterday. So if you had your five A-list people, your A-list people that you sent them out to, those are the people that are closest to you. You could drive to their house and shake up ketones. I want you to send another 5 of those. Add another 5 to that list, because probably not all 5 of them for yesterday. You're probably not 5 for 5 on yesterday's. They didn't all get back to you like, yes, drive them over here. I'm ready to buy an experience pack, right? Like, I'm not all, probably not even half of them wrote back to you. So get another 5 and message them. Today, I want you to be intentional about the response that you're sending. So when you say, hey, what do you know about ketones? And they say, I heard it could kill you, or yes, I love them, or you could never drink them. Be intentional about, instead of answering that question, saying, great. If I send you a short 40-minute video, will you watch it? Let me know if it makes sense. Boom. How much easier did your day just get, right? Because you're not like, oh, what do I say? Oh my gosh, it's my closest friend. Well, she doesn't like me after I send this. Doesn't matter if she likes you. You're the messenger. She's not going to kill you. They're your friends. But you're going to send them a video, right? And that makes it a lot easier. So I want you to be intentional about the responses you're sending. If you're not confident if you're not feeling confident with this whole process, you got to get out of your head, you guys, because and if I could say this enough, don't prejudge. Some of the best stories coming out of this are people that I would have said, they would never want this, but I sent it anyhow, probably because I got on a training just like this with Brian James, and he said, find 5 more in your A-list. And I'm like, the only people left are these people, and I really don't want to send it, and send it, and they've had great experiences. So don't prejudge, get out of your head, give it to your friend and say, pick 5 people and go ahead and do it, right? If you need help, right? If you're new at this and you're like, I don't know, I kind of need help with this. Once they respond to your initial question, connect them with your coach, connect them with me, connect them with the person that's helping you through this. It's okay to ask for help. You guys, there's a bunch of us on here who have been around for a while. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to leverage people who have been practicing this, who are a little further along in their 10,000 hours of mastery. It's not that we're better, it's that we've just been practicing longer. So reach out to those people. And can I get your hands up if you guys are committed to doing this? Yes, I love it. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to hear from the one, the only Miss Jess Nouse. She's going to walk us through the importance of experience in enrollment, sort of what that is, an introduction to that, and some really practical tips on how to make that simple. Simplicity is key. So have an amazing Wednesday, you guys, and we will see you tomorrow.